when I reflect on my experiences, I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't even know how I did it. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing great and that everything is going well. My name is Tabia Pecha for those who are new, and for those who are returning, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So today we are talking about the transition from high school to university, and I'm gonna let you guys into my university experience. I know the thought that comes with it is very exciting and daunting, because there's just a lot that happens. There's just a lot of transformation that happens with the idea of going to university or moving to university. Starting from moving from your home into like a different place that is just, it's so different. The geography or the demographics, like literally everything around you and in you, sometimes it changes. You have to start being responsible, you have to start thinking about a whole lot of things that you weren't even thinking about, when you were in high school. So the transition for me wasn't that hectic. And that is because I was part of a certain program, TTP, when I was in grade 10, 11, and 12. So we were selected in grade 9, and then we started attending from grade 10 to matric. So during school holidays, we'll go to Virit and we'll just attend there. The period depended on the duration of the school holidays. So if we were closing for 1 week, we'll go there for 1 week, or if the school holidays were for 3 weeks, we'll literally go there for 2 weeks. So that helped a lot, because then like the program was more of a bridge between high school and university. We were being taught we were being taught about the tradition, the university traditions or the customs. We knew where the dining hall was because we used to eat there. We were sleeping like in recess. So like it helped me to kind of get accustomed to the whole university tradition and how the lifestyle is and how people conduct themselves, because like we even have roommates, but then they made sure that the person that you were staying with in a room was not someone from your school. So you can imagine that that helped a lot, because then you were meeting someone for the first time, you were learning to speak English like non-stop without speaking your home language, because then you might or because then we found that probably your roommate is not it's not speaking the same language as you, so you just had to learn to speak English. So I think it played a very significant role in my life, or in my journey. Yeah, it played a very significant role. So when I went to university, it wasn't that bad. The only thing that was difficult is that this time around I was alone. There were no mentors, or people to cry to when you needed something, or people to ask you know anything that you wanted. So that was the only challenging part. And then the other thing was having to um, study in a university way, because I was used to studying like just studying easy, or I was just used to like my study method or my study strategies they weren't that hectic, because then I was just studying for high school, and things weren't just or things were not difficult, or things were not hectic as compared to university. So yeah, that was the other challenge, being accustomed or being able to adapt to the university pressure and the way everything studies. Like I had to change the study routine, I had to change my methods, and things like that. So that was another thing that was challenging about that. But overall, I think TTP helped me. It was able to pick me up from 0 to at least 40. The remaining 60, I had to figure it out, on my own. And then what else? or moving on to the things that you need to consider, before going to university, is, accommodation. You certainly need to, be aware of the fact that you're gonna need somewhere to stay, or you're gonna need a certain place where you are going to stay at. And whether you stay on campus or whether you stay off campus, that is completely up to you. With me, when I was applying for like accommodation, I applied, like I was just filling in the form, and there was a certain question that was asking me about accommodation. Like the question was like, or there was a certain question that was asking me about accommodation, and I thought that was just it. I didn't know that I had to apply for a separate, or I had to fill in a separate form that was specifically for accommodation. So I didn't know that. I thought, after filling in that form, the application form, I thought everything was just fine. I didn't know that you had to fill in a separate form. So that that forced me to stay off campus, because I didn't apply for that, because I didn't apply for accommodation. I stayed in a separate, I stayed off campus. So you certainly need to be aware of that. When you're applying for university, you need to know that there's a separate form that you need to fill out, or there's a separate application that is designated to res alone. It does not go together with the application for university, or application for a certain course that you want to apply for. So and another thing that you need to be aware of, or that you need to think of, is roommates. Do you want to stay with a roommate, or do you not want to? But I think that again is going to depend on your funding. Are you self-funded, or are you going to be funded by a bursary? Because that also plays a huge role in your choice of roommates. I think that's just about it. With roommates, one thing that I love about having a roommate is that it's a bit cost effective. You don't spend a lot of money with accommodation, because obviously you're sharing with someone. So the amount that you have to pay for that room is going to be shared, or it's going to be divided into two people or three, or whatever the number. And then again, if you find somebody who's kind enough, you guys might share groceries, budget together and things like that. I think that's the advantage of having a roommate. Disadvantage is that sometimes you might find somebody who's not, or who do not share the same values as you. The person might be rude or moody. So those are the perks that comes with having a roommate in university. Sometimes you don't get the opportunity to switch the light on and off, like whenever you want, without them telling you that they want to study, or they're sleeping, or things like that. But it just depends on the kind of person that you are, and you being willing to to adapt, to learn your roommate, and come up with systems to navigate around that. So the other thing that you need to consider is groceries. I think university requires a certain amount of growth and maturity. So you need to be able to come up with a lifestyle, or maintain a lifestyle that is not above your means, because then you're gonna get tempted. I mean, when you're going into the big cities, like there's literally a restaurant in every corner. So you need to be able to manage that. You need to be able to budget, to manage your money, and know that what, I'm gonna buy groceries, or I'm gonna use the money to buy groceries, and the remaining I'm gonna do other things. I'm not gonna be tempted to buy fast food, because I know that not only are they good for my finances, but they are also good, or the idea of not buying food is also good for my health. It's going to benefit me. I'm not gonna catch diseases, I'm gonna be obese, and things like that. So it's very much important to know how to manage your finances, and to just teach yourself to overcome temptations of fast foods, and such. And another thing that you need to consider is, I think, academics. You need to be aware that failure exists at university. And when that happens, it's not the end of the world. It does not mean that you are not worth it. It does not mean that you are not intelligent. It just means that you need extra time, to understand your context, or to understand your content. You just need somebody. You just need help. It just means that you need somebody to help you. It doesn't say that you're not worth it. You are. I mean, that is why that is why you are in university to start with. It means that you're smart, but the fact that you are failing, it means that you need help. What I did in my first year, I was struggling with some of the courses, because I mean, chemistry in university is not the same as the chemistry that you're doing in high school, or the physics is not the same. They get deeper, like they really get into depth. So you really need someone to help you to navigate that, or you need somebody who's probably a year ahead of you to help you with content, or you probably need a tutor. That is what I did. In my first year, I got myself a tutor. As much as they are expensive, but I just had to decide, or I had to choose whether I choose a tutor or I choose failing, because that was just it. I either had to say this person is expensive, but then if I'm not willing to pay that person, I mean, I was going to fail. There was no way around it. So I'm not saying that, if you are failing, you definitely need a tutor, but I'm just saying it's either you need help, or, I mean, it's either you get help like as soon as possible, or you're failing, or you're choosing failure. So yeah, I think it goes back to budgeting, like knowing the things that you're going to use your pocket money for. You know that this amount goes to groceries and this one goes to my tutor. So you just need to be able to manage your finances, and just know that failure is there. As I said, it doesn't say anything about you. It doesn't say anything about you. And yeah, man, we go through that. I mean, there are people who finish 4-year degrees in 8 years, and you just need to embrace it and seek help ASAP, as I said. And the other thing is balance. I think you need a social life, definitely. It's not like high school. You need a social life. You need a support structure. People who are going to be there for you. Some people go to churches. Some people find friends. Others, they join they do extramural activities, or maybe rugby. People do soccer, others play netball. There's just a whole lot of activities that you can do in university. So I think you need that as well. Like, you literally can't be buried in your books 24 hours. That is not healthy. Or it's not healthy. I don't advise that. That helps you with your mental health as well, because it gets hectic, trust me. It really gets hectic, guys. When I reflect on my experiences, I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't even know how I did it. Like, I don't know how I was passing, but I just did. I just found myself passing. I was talking to my friend, I think last year, and I was telling her that, like, all this time, I can't believe that I've been chasing deadlines. Like, literally, I've been chasing deadlines. Like, this week you're submitting, the other week you're writing, that other week you're doing, like, there's always something to do, and you don't have time to study because you're always chasing, like, literally, you're chasing something, you're chasing a deadline or something. So yeah, it's just so hectic. It gets hectic, and I'm not doing this, or I'm not saying this to scare you guys, but I'm just saying, you need to be prepared that this is life and things like this happen. So that is why I'm saying you need a support system. You need people to be there for you. You need people who understand. I mean, if you are in university and you talk to somebody who's still in high school, they're probably gonna judge you and say, you are failing, like, you no longer studied, we thought you're smart, and things like that. But I think you need somebody who has been there, somebody who has, who is, or somebody who's a year ahead, or somebody who's in university, or who has the experience. So yeah, you definitely need someone to talk to. I remember last year there was this other day. It was on a Friday, and I had to go to a lab. So what was happening is that in the morning I received bad news. So that literally changed the complexion of my day. Like, I didn't know what to do, because then, like, everything was just draining for me. So I just prepped myself and I went to school, you know, because I had a lab and I attended. And then after that, like because my day was not going well, and on Monday I was writing a test on Monday. So because I wasn't okay, like I just had to decide that, am I going to see my sister for a weekend, or am I going to go to my room and get buried in my books for the whole weekend? And they both had advantages and disadvantages. You know, going to my sister meant I was not gonna study for the Monday test, but I was gonna reset. I was gonna be able to get that fresh air because I was going to be close to my family. You know, I was going to take off, you know, or I was going to talk to her, you know, like life was going to be much better. I was what I knew is that when I went there, I was doing it for my mental health, because like I was literally heading to depression, because like it was not only that day, like I had been like facing, you know, roller coasters, you know, throughout. So like getting that message was just a nail in the coffin. So you can understand that, you know, I was kind of heading there. So like I really thought that I need something that is going to take me off, or that is going to offload this load, you know, that I'm carrying on my shoulders. And or the other option that I had was going to my room. And the advantage was that I was going to read, or at least not like I was not going to read like study everything, but I knew that, you know, I was going to try. But um first of all, I was not going to be productive because I knew the state of mind that I was in. It wasn't like good at all. And again, I was probably going to be stressed. I was probably going to go into depression. You know, I don't know what could have happened had I chosen that, but I decided that, you know what, I'm gonna go to my sister. Yes, I know I'm writing on Monday, but I'm just gonna see how I'm going to navigate that. I'm just gonna see how I'm going to, you know, prep for the Monday test. But I definitely know that, you know, I need a break. I need some time off, because like as I said, like university can get hectic sometimes, you know, it can get difficult. So you need somebody to talk to, like you need that sport, or you need to go to church, or whatever that you think is going to benefit you, or whatever that you think is going to, you know, help you take or that is going to help take your mind off things. Like you definitely, or you certainly need that. So yeah, I think that is just about it. With university, those are the major things that you need. And one thing that I love about, you know, university is that the exams are set by your lecturers. You know, I was blessed enough to, you know, to be taught by kind lecturers. So the advantage about that is that, you know, when you are taught by or when the exam is taught, what am I saying? The advantage about that is that when the exam is set by your lecturer, sometimes they can be kind enough, you know, to tell you about things that are going to be out in the exam. They tell you about the diagrams, they tell you about the things that you should heed, you know, and. So yeah, I think that is the advantage. Unlike high school, you know, in high school, you know that the test is going to be set by the exam is going to be set by the department. So you probably don't know what is going to be out. You know that, maths question one is just going to be simplifying, factorizing, you know, and all that. But you don't know the kind of questions. So in university, sometimes, you know, you can find, you know, kind people, kind lecturers to tell you that, you know, this is going to be out, or study this, you know, and don't study that, study this. So that is what is, I think, advantages, you know, about being taught by somebody or being lectured by someone who's going to be setting your exam. And yeah, I think that is just it. I hope I'm not forgetting anything. So yeah, I hope that is just it. I hope that, you know, my experience is just going to help you navigate your life with university, your experience. And those who are going to university this year for the first time, all the best. I wish you nothing but all the best. Enjoy, 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 and, you know, just don't get buried in your books 24/7. Get alive, enjoy, like make friends, and just, you know, yeah. Do you. Do you. And those who will be doing their second year, third years, and, you know, those who will be furthering their studies, you know, just, I wish you all the best of luck. You know, go there and, you know, just enjoy, study. Remember the main goal. You're there to fetch your degree. You are there to fetch your honors or whatever you're there for, or your PhD, whatever. Just just enjoy life. Yeah, enjoy life. Get a life. Be you. Serve your purpose, and just enjoy. I don't know what I'm saying, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Until I see you next time.